Beware the Ides of a mad march. CPAC, popes, basketball, rugby, and dance. This is the Monday Line. I'm Dennis Campbell. It was a weekend so full of news I couldn't settle on one topic for the Monday Line. Each time the telly was on, something even more bizarre occurred. Stories that didn't even make the headline cut included the Ohio football players convicted of raping a drunk and unconscious woman, half the crazies at CPAC. I mean, when Michelle Bachmann and Rick Santorum don't even make the cut, you know a lot of things happened this past weekend. And even the Miami Heat winning a 22nd game in a row, none of those. They're all on the cutting room floor. There were moments of great celebration. The 12-week-long search for Great Britain and Ireland's best dancer ended with the young Lucas McFarlane taking the title. 68 teams begin a run over 3 weekends this Wednesday to see who will become the last team standing in the USA's NCAA college basketball version of football's FA Cup. One of them will be crowned the national champion, and it was a scene of nationalistic pride here as tiny rugby-mad Wales, population of 2.7 million, improbably but deservedly so, trounced England, with a population of 60 million, 30-3 to win the Six Nations Cup for the second year running. And then there were the moments that just confounded the imagination. The Catholic Church appointed yet another old, conservative, white male cardinal to be their pontiff. It's almost like the Tories and the U.S. Republicans. And the world wondered how the Argentinian Pope Francis, increasingly now implicated in turning young dissident priests over to the government in the 1970s, who were then disappeared, would bring real change to this Vatican. And then we slowed the car to watch the 25-car motorway pileup known as CPAC. CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference. This is the annual right-wing freak show, and it came to Washington Thursday through Saturday of last week, and it lived up to its advanced billing. The implosion of the Republican GOP Tea Party continued, and it was all streamed live for us to see. Sarah Palin reminded the world of quitters by chugging on a big gulp soda, almost banned in New York City, save for a court order, in defiance of what? Government intervention in Washington, D.C.? I mean, that she was not clever enough to come up with another prop showed astounding laziness. But then the right-wing freaks in attendance, they ate it all up. This is a woman who 2 years ago went from being considered a vice presidential candidate, would have placed her a heartbeat away from a very old man and John McCain as president if he won, to seeing if she could have more reality television programs than the Kardashians. And then she was preceded on the dais by Donald Trump speaking to a nearly empty hall. It begged the question, is even the Tea Party growing tired of the Donald's rants? Then came Marco, I'm not a bigot because I disagree with you on same-sex marriage, Rubio. The choice even Hispanic Republicans hate as the GOP standard bearer. And Jeb, flip-flop on immigration policy Bush, stood in front of the group worrying the GOP has become a party of intolerance, hate, and all things bad. But the icing on the cake were Newt Gingrich and Karl Rove, the latter on Fox News, of course, calling the party stupid. And RNC Chair Reince Priebus, though he's convinced it's all just a marketing and branding problem, and massive amounts of money will fix it. So forget about the candidates, the pizza. The problem is the box. Even Joe Scarborough of MSNBC Morning Joe fame was reduced this past week to holding his head in his hands in tears, embarrassed at the freaks on display in his party. He was also furious that the real party standard bearers will have to face off once again opposite this Looney Tunes bunch. No problem. Chairman Priebus has it all solved. Move the national convention to July, limit the number of primary debates, and all will be just hunky-dory. Pope Francis. Habemus Papam. We have a pope. Now, aside from all the betting slips for Brazil, the Ghana, and United States binned in anger, no one saw this selection coming. Although they probably should have, since he finished second to Benedict in the last conclave. So in 10 years, when he steps down or passes on, we'll look to this year's second-place finisher? Initially heartened that a member of the Progressive Jesuit order had been selected, most quickly noted he, like Benedict, was a hardliner on issues such as priest celibacy, male-only priests, against gay marriage, and against contraceptives. So it's meet the new boss, same as the old boss time. Now maybe the church can bury its child sex abuse past. Well, the media's ignoring it. but instead they're focusing daily on charges that whilst a young priest in Argentina 40 years ago, Pope Francis turned in young dissident priests to the Argentine government for torture and execution. Partners are settled for the big dance. Wednesday begins a remarkable sport phenomenon, the NCAA basketball tournament. Now, nothing's going to be accomplished on Monday and Tuesday in offices across the USA and around the world, because folks are going to be participating in a gambling bracket madness ritual that will see some $1 billion wagered in the USA on the outcome of a tournament where only one team is left standing after 6 rounds as the national champions. This coming weekend, don't even think of disturbing me, as I will likely have a basketball game on the PC watching one of the tournament's first 36 games. Wales, Wales, Wales. No country's psyche rises and falls with the national rugby side more than here, with excellent rugby players, some would say the best in the world. Every year, the 6 nations come together to play for the RBS Cup. Wales, England, Scotland, Ireland, our only blemish on the record this year, and for some reason Italy and France. Can't quite figure that one out. But they all bash each other about as 5 games are played over 7 weekends. And the smallest nation in the competition is Wales, France being the largest. So the accomplishment of throttling England and winning it all was that much sweeter because it was right here in Cardiff. And got to dance. Our families watched the competition unfold over the last 12 weeks, and much to our relief, the best dancer in the contest was a young Canadian who left Calgary to pursue his dream of dancing here in the UK. The level of performance this year was incredible, and young Lucas McFarlane is a name you will hear in the future as he walked away the winner of £250,000. So, it was quite a weekend. I wonder how much more of it we can take. Does anyone know if Mercury's still in retrograde or the new moon is done?